So how was that? How was it writing out everything? Have you ever done that before? I've done that over the years, and a good question to ask is, well, how does that actually relate to stress? And what's the point of that in how we're focused through these 3 weeks? And anything that's in the category of being important and urgent will typically have an element of stress to it. We tend to put a lot of activities there. Would you agree? I don't know if that's how yours looked. But if that is you, I want you to do a quick double take. Like, go back to your list yesterday and see if there's anything that can be moved. I know for myself, most of what I do, I initially consider both. That's the amygdala again. It's me often wanting to control the situation, and so I make it feel urgent, or I'm not in control of every aspect of some situation, and so if I can just do it sooner, it gives me a sense of control. Oftentimes my knee-jerk or that amygdala response is to try to please people, and so I'll put it in this category of stress. Man, I really need to do it. But when I incorporate my frontal lobe, I'll realize that most of the time, not most of the time, literally every single time, it's not life or death. I don't have to complete it right this second. No one's gonna die or suffer if I don't complete it. That's some of those things that I'll tell myself. Now, a lot of times we'll see things that are important and they become urgent because we didn't deal with them sooner. And so in the list that you have, or even as you just reflect over the decisions that you've made or the way that you categorize things, there's a great saying that goes, easy decisions, hard life. Hard decisions, easy life. And that can be taken into lots of different contexts, but I feel within the one that we're talking about now, a lot of the things that are important are challenging. They're not the things that we necessarily want to do. Those typically fall into a category of unimportant. Unimportant a lot of times can be very easy. But the more time that we take in the important category, the less stress it will induce later on. And I'll give you an example. I need to take the time now to manage my savings and our finances so it doesn't get to a point where my bank account is negative. Now, whether I deal with it now or later, it's still important, but now it doesn't have the connotation of stress. It's just a challenge. It's a challenge because it's not fun to me and it's not something that I like to do. But if I wait, well, it's still important, but now it's urgent, and that urgency produces stress. So I bet that there's some scenarios or context for yourself where you could reevaluate like why it is important to do something even though it's not urgent. Now for the category of unimportant, don't tell yourself that you can't have anything here. I know that was my knee-jerk response when I saw all the things that were unimportant that I was doing. I felt guilty at first, but it's okay to have things in that category because things that are important are, as we just mentioned, usually pretty challenging. And so if all you did were really important things, you'd be smoked at the end of the day. And so the key here is balance. Do some things in the unimportant category, but try to keep most of your time the things that matter to you. The Aborigines have a term called a walkabout. And the symbolism of a walkabout, it's that it's freedom. We do unimportant things because we need our mind to be free. So placing a time in a situation where you can allow your mind to just wander is the reason that we like Netflix. It's the reason that we like going for walks. It's the reason that it's important to have some of those things there. But hey, long story short, make sure that most of the things that we're doing are evaluated as being important for obvious reasons. Now, for the exercise today, Uh, Sometimes I've done this and I've found that there's not a lot of things in the important but not urgent category. I don't know if that was the same for you or not. If it is, we need to ask ourselves why. Now, there's a few reasons after the exercise today that we'll go into, but one of the biggest reasons is that we may not have clarity around our goals. Now, think about what we've talked about already, the underlying psychological causes of stress, the need for approval, and our need for control. If I don't have a strong sense of what's valuable to me, if I don't know where my priorities lie, then I'll be very much influenced by what somebody else wants. And I'll be like a dog chasing cars in my need to exert control. Having values and clarity around that allows you to make better decisions and not be as influenced around those things that may not align with what's important to you. So that's what we'll do today. We'll write down what's really valuable to you. Don't write down what you think you're supposed to write. Nobody cares what's good for society, okay? We're not talking macroeconomics, we're talking micro. So if it's important to you, write it down. Don't write anything that you feel like is supposed to be valuable to you, but in honesty, it's not. I can't wait to see your answers, and I'll see you at the end.